Everyone. I'm going to do a reading for the weekend. Check out the weekend and see what's going on for all of us. I'll go around the zodiac and we're just going to see what are the energies for all of us. Starting with the Aries all the way through till Pisces. Grateful, thankful for each and every one of you. If you stick around to the end, after I'm done doing my readings, I'm always happy to pull some cards for some of the people that put your questions in. So yeah, if you got a question, throw it in there. Yeah, and I'll get to it when I'm finished with these readings, all right? So let's get the job done first, and then we can hang out and just have a good time. All right, you guys, we are looking at the weekend. I'm using the Spellcasters Tarot. And we're going to check out and see what does the weekend look like for all of us, starting with Aries. I'm going to pull 3 cards. Kind of like Friday, Saturday, Sunday kind of cards. But let's see what they come out and what the message is going to be for all of you guys. Grateful, thankful to each and every one of you. Don't forget to hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. All right, let's see what's going on for all of my Aries for this weekend. Just for like the next 3 days. Grateful, thankful for the messages for my Aries. Grateful, thankful for each and every one of you out there. All right, Aries, are you ready? Cards are shuffled. First card out for you is the Lover's card crossed by the Knight of Wands to the Two of Cups. All right, so I got to tell you, Aries, this could be one of these tough romantic kind of weekends. All right, we start out with the Lover's card coming in reversed. All right, when we have the energy of the Lovers reversed, there's a disconnect here. And then we have the Knight of Wands, and he's also reversed. And a lot of times when I see the Knight of Wands show up like this, this guy's a lot of talk, promises all kinds of things. They're going to do this, they're going to do that. And they don't mean any of it, all right? So I feel like this weekend, Aries, you might find yourself in that position where, you want to get something done and they're not cooperating. They say they will. They say they'll be there to help. They say that they're going to help, but I just don't see them them doing that. But we pull out the end of the weekend with the Two of Cups. So it starts out a little rough, but I think the two of you make up by the end. So anyway, that's what I see for Aries for the next few days. All right, moving on to Taurus. Let's see what's going on for Taurus. We've got you coming out with the 9 of Wands, 7 of Wands reversed, and the 8 of Cups. All right, so you're a little guarded. Maybe you're going into the weekend not really sure about whether or not you should say something or not say something, whether or not you should go out with someone or not go out with someone, because your final card is that of the 8 of Cups. And in this deck, notice that there's still a cup standing and you haven't walked away yet. So I feel like, you are trying to figure out whether or not you really want to continue to go out to do something. Because, this might be you not wanting to go out and drink for the weekend, or this is you not wanting to go out with your friends. But here with the 7 of Wands, there's this energy of like, I just don't know how to say anything. I just don't know how to say, how I'm really feeling. So a very guarded weekend for you, Taurus. I think, it's one of those where you're going to be in your head a lot. But whenever I see the 7 of Wands, don't be afraid to say what you need to say, all right? Because, that's when you're finally putting in a position of advantage. When you don't say anything, then, nothing is changing, nothing is done, and people don't understand. So, yeah, by Sunday, though, I think you will, decide whether or not you want to go out with this person, do this thing. I mean, you're just going to be on the fence all weekend is what I feel. All right, moving on to my Geminis. We got you coming out here with the World card to the 5 of Pentacles to the 8 of Wands. So the World card, I mean, this is an ending. Some of you guys may be traveling too as well. But I feel as if, you are ready for an ending to happen. Maybe you start to initiate that as the weekend goes in, because then we have the 5 of Pentacles. I think you'd rather be alone than going and, going out and doing things, because I almost feel like when you go out, it's not, whoever's got a hold of you here, when you go out with them, I almost wonder whether they call the shots and you just have to go along. And, you know, I don't think that makes you very happy all the time, Gemini. So I'm definitely feeling like you'd probably be better off by yourself this weekend because, you know, again, 8 of Wands, we're not wanting to talk a whole lot either. All right, so this is a very introverted weekend for you. Pretty uncharacteristic, I think. But I just feel like, you know, this is a weekend where you probably be better off and more happy if you are alone. All right, now moving on to my Cancers. Cancers, we have the Wheel of Fortune coming in reversed to the Nine of Swords reversed to the Nine of Cups. All right, something doesn't go your way this weekend, all right? Because when we have the Nine of Cups, this guy, we had a genie here, but he's upside down, so you don't get something your way, all right? And then we have the Nine of Swords here. I think mentally there is just something happens that either comes in between you and your plans, because the Wheel of Fortune here is, you know, it's indicating things aren't going to go the way you want them to go. And, you know, when it happens like that, I think what you need to do is just surrender, all right? Because when we're in the energy of the Nine of Swords, there's so much stress and anxiety. It's affecting us, all right? So listen, if you don't get your way, Cancer, let it go. It's okay. It's all right. All right, you know, there's always another day. But this weekend, I just feel as if you have to really surrender and just go along. All right? Next, we have Leo. We're starting out with the Three of Swords. Uh-oh, what happened? So, Leo, we've got this heartbreak that we're beginning the weekend with. And, you know, somebody hurt you. Somebody said something. Somebody did something to you. All right? Because it's followed by the Two of Swords. And whatever it is, you know, you're now looking at this like, all right, now that I got your number, I'm very clear. You know, you don't want to be out. You don't want to go out with me. You don't want to hang out with me. You'd rather go out with someone else. I almost feel as if a truth is exposed this weekend to you. So much so that, you know, you get to the point where, you know, you have to make some kind of a decision here, because this Ace of Cups coming in reverse, I mean, you don't want to get hurt again. I think that's the bottom line. You just don't want to get hurt again. So that's what I've got for you. Hi, Michael. Welcome in. What's up here? I'm doing the weekend read in tarot, and if you stick around, I'll pull cards, all right? So that's what's going on here. Anyway, welcome, everyone. You know, it's nice to have you all in the house, in the chat. Don't forget to hit the like button, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really helps me out. All right, let's move on to Virgo, and then I'll come back to you guys. All right, so let's see what's going on. We've got Virgo, we've got the High Priestess, we've got the Emperor, and we have the Page of Pentacles. So with that coming in for you, Virgo, all right, listen, we got somebody who's not being nice. So you got to go, Patrick. You know, you're not going to be nice. You got to go. All right, so listen, we've got the High Priestess, the Emperor, and the Page of Pentacles, Virgo, coming out for you. So the High Priestess, intuitively, you know, I think you know that there is something on the horizon for you. I mean, we've got the Emperor and the Page of Pentacles. If you have recently applied for a job of some sort, I think that, you know, you will probably get the job. I think, you know, intuitively, I think you can see it. I mean, here we've got this Page of Pentacles. So I think this whole weekend, you're going to just be wondering whether or not, you know, you got the position. But the fact that we have the Emperor here and I've got this Page of Pentacles here, stay optimistic, because I feel like there is a place for you. All right, Virgo. So, you know, that's really good news for anyone out there who, you know, just recently went through an interview. I do feel as if, you know how you did in that interview, and based on how you feel, that's how it's going to end up being. All right. So, you know, and it might be a work weekend for you as well, Virgo. You know, you may find yourself working overtime. You know, you just got to do what you got to do this weekend is what I feel like is going on. All right, let's see what's going on for all of my Libras for this weekend. We have the Temperance card coming in reverse, so a little lack of patience, Libra. I mean, you know, let's find some patience, because whenever the Temperance card comes up reversed, I mean, it can be a real strong indication that you just have no patience for a situation. So you might start out the week that way. And then we have the Four of Pentacles and then the Five of Swords reversed. Four of Pentacles, be really careful if, you know, you're planning on going someplace that you can afford to go. All right, because a lot of times when we have the Four of Pentacles, we hold back because we're afraid we don't have enough. And I'm just feeling like there could be, you know, a situation where, you know, you lose patience and you do something, and, you know, it could cost you more in the end. All right, so if there is something like that brewing, rather than wait until Monday, you want to get it fixed today, now you're going to have to pay a higher price because it's not on the weekday, it's on the weekend. It's one of those things. I just feel as if you've got to pick your battles this weekend. And Libra, we've also got the Five of Swords coming in reverse. So the Five of Swords coming in reverse is, you know, let's not, you know, engage ourselves in anything that we might regret later on. All right, especially with the Four of Pentacles. And with that and the Five of Swords reversed, I can't help but feel that what you need to do is really be careful of how much you open up and how much you say, because you may say more than you should, and I don't think it'll go over very well. All right, so that's what I've got for you, Libra. All right, moving on to my Scorpios. Scorpio, we're coming out with the Queen of Wands reversed. This could be you. This could be somebody you are dealing with. But whoever it is, they are not happy, and neither is this King of Swords that has come out alongside this Queen. So this could be you dealing with someone who is really, you know, difficult. I mean, the King of Swords, you know, this is somebody who's very serious, all right? They know what they know. They're pretty dry, you know, but they're very professional, and they know their thing. But when he's upside down, this is somebody who knows a lot, you know, maybe they're holding back information from you, and that's pissing you off. Why are they not helping me? They should, you know, and I just feel as if, you know, between you and someone else, the struggle of communication between the two of them, I feel you're going to have a hard time. All right, because, you know, she's not very happy and she's not very open-minded right now. She is upside down and she's pretty pissed off at this king, right? And then we have the Seven of Pentacles as the overall energy. So patience, I think, will be a very big key for a lot of you Scorpios out there for this weekend in dealing with someone who might be a little difficult. If you are patient, then, you know, then I think things can turn. But if you become as difficult as they are, then I think we are going down a slippery slope real fast, all right? So that's what I've got for you, Scorpio. Or was that Libra? I don't remember. I think it was Scorpio. If not, somebody can correct me because I know you guys will. All right, let's move on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, we got you coming out with the Ace of Pentacles reversed to the Five of Wands to the Queen of Pentacles. So I think, you know, an opportunity, are you preparing, you know, because we have this Five of Wands. You're going to be going up against a group of people. Now, this could be, you know, in competition. This could be in work. I just feel as if you have to prepare for whatever this is, all right? So this weekend, Sagittarius, it'd be really good for you to get ready, do what you got to do in order to get this coin. At the end of the day, you know, there's other people who are also after that beehive, this coin, you know, you want it because here we got you coming out with the Queen of Pentacles as the final outcome. So I think if you do your work and, you know, you prepare yourself as best you can, this can be for a test, any kind of thing that's coming up. I just feel like if you do the work and, you know, you really ground in and practice and do what you got to do, I mean, Sagittarius, you can only come out ahead, all right? Because this is an energy of being solid, being very grounded, feeling very, very good, you know, because everything is taken care of. All right, so that's what I've got for this weekend. Go and take care of and practice whatever you got to practice this weekend, Sag. All right, let's see. Capricorn, we have you coming out with the Empress reversed to the Hierophant reversed to the Star. You know, for some of you Capricorns, it could be around, you know, whether or not you can have a child. You know, there is this Hierophant here. Maybe some of you guys don't want to be pregnant and maybe you find out that you're not. And I say that because we have the Star card here, and I just feel as if somebody really doesn't want to find out that they are pregnant. This is very real to many women, you know, it's just really, it's a hard thing to go through when we think that we might be pregnant, we may not be ready for it. And I feel like this Capricorn definitely does not really want to have a child right now. They want to continue being free and doing their own thing. So with that being said, I also feel like for some of you Capricorns, the Empress sometimes when she comes upside down, can talk about like, I don't really like who I am. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't feel good about myself. I don't have the confidence. And I feel like, if you are more yourself, Capricorn, that's going to shine through. All right. I think it's you trying to be what other people want you to be that makes you feel so uncomfortable about yourself sometimes. So if you stand in your own authenticity this weekend, I think you're going to have a really good one. All right, Capricorn. So that's what I've got for you. All right, let's see. Capricorn, who's next? We've got Aquarius. Aquarius, we have you starting out with the Knight of Pentacles. So I think, this is going to be a weekend where you are going to do some some work, because the Knight of Pentacles does the grunt work. So there may be some things that you have to do at work or at home before you can actually enjoy the weekend. So let's get those done, Aquarius, so that you can enjoy the rest of the weekend. Because I see for some of you Aquarians, be very careful, some drinking and some partying, all right? And you might be going out with people that, you've done this before, all right? So I feel like, you could be overindulging this weekend, Aquarius. So just be very, very careful of that and be very aware of that. Now, while you are out and about with the Page of Cups, you may actually meet someone as well. So just if you are drinking and driving, please don't, drive. Please, get a ride or an Uber or something, but please don't drink and drive. And enjoy yourself. I mean, I have nothing against partying, I just don't want to see anybody get hurt as a result of not being able to get home. All right. So anyway, a good time for the weekend for Aquarius. Last but not least, we've got Pisces. Pisces, I've got you coming in as the Ten of Pentacles. We got the Page of Wands and the Two of Wands. So Ten of Pentacles, you might come into a little bit of money. Payday could come in. Maybe you did come into a little bit of money. I feel as if, with that money, you can do some good things. But now the weekend is, what am I going to do? All right, because we have the Two of Wands coming in reversed. And also for some of you Pisces with this card, notice a guy over on the other side of the fence. There could be somebody in your neighborhood that you might hear they like you. I mean, there could be, romance might be out there for some of you Pisces as well. But by Sunday, I feel like, the Two of Wands, you're starting to look at some things about your life that hold you back from being able to do what you want to do. And if you have money now, maybe now you can start doing these things that you've always wanted to do. So you'll probably be thinking a little bit about that as well. Anyway, overall, I think it's going to be a good weekend for all of us. The thumbnail on the card, what was the thumbnail? Oh, it was the Knight of Wands. This is the thumbnail on, the thing here on the YouTube. And I love this image because we have the magician on this horse in the spirit of the Knight of Wands, So this also tells me, as an overall collective energy for all of us, that we can make whatever we want happen this weekend. All right. We have the ability to go out and have a good time. We have the ability to get work done. We have the ability to, get the chores done around the house. I mean, the magician can do anything they want to do. And with the Knight of Wands, there's a spirit of let's have a good time with this as well. So yeah, let's have a good weekend, everyone, and just enjoy ourselves. All right, so listen, I'm going to turn my attention to the many people in my chat. And if any of you guys would like to have a reading, I'd be happy to do that now. I'll take, I'll look and see. I see Ashta, you would like to ask a question. Let me see who else has a question before I go on. Layer Coleman came to mind. What does that mean? Well, it's on you. I don't know. Let's see. Michael, what 4-digit lucky number for Saturday and Sunday? Let's see if we can get 4 numbers for you for Saturday and number. I got the 3. I got the number 3, Michael. Give me another. Oh, what's this one? 30. Michael's lucky numbers. Maybe some of you guys want to play these numbers. 2, 3, 0, 2. One more number. One more number for Michael. 3, 0, 2. The lucky numbers of the weekend. Let's see if these hit for someone. Ooh, and 1. All right, 3, 2, 1 is what it goes down to. There's an 8 in there too. So you can either do 3, 0, 2, 1 or 3, 0, 2, 8. All right, Michael, those are the numbers I got for you. Welcome in, John. Nice to see you. Sometimes it's me. Have I done Taurus? I did. I did double Scorpio. Getting married to Devender will be my better option or not? We got us a question here. Oops, all my cards are upside down. I think there's a little confusion there. How should I call your name? Let's see. Is Marika? You want to know whether or not will be your better option to get married to, as opposed to what other option? Asa, don't spam the comments, because that's a good way for me not to read your, to pull a card, all right? So you've already put your question in. Let's stop. Stop, Asa. Stop. Or I won't read you a card, all right? Enough. I saw your question. I'll get to it. That's okay. You know, if you start doing it, other people will start doing this. This is why I want you to stop. And I will get to your question, all right? I try to get everybody's questions. I don't like to leave open-ended anyone, because I've been in that position. So I'll get to you. All right, so let's see. You're okay, Asa. We just don't want this to become a habit with other people. All right, let's see. Let's go back to getting married. Devender will be my better option or not. Let's find out. Let's start there. Let's start there with you as a Marika. I want to know whether or not Devender will be your better option. Upright for yes, reverse for no. Let's see. You know, I got yes that it is a good option, but right now you're being very closed about it, the Queen of Cups. But you know, in response to, you know, what it is, you know, is this the better option or not? I think it is, but I don't know if it's your final option. All right, I want to put one more card on that. Yeah, be a little guarded, you know, don't settle. I mean, you know, it seems like you have another option. And yeah, you could settle with this one, but it's going to leave you a little guarded. So why settle, right? That would be my answer to your question. Meghana, how are your studies going to be? Meghna, is that how you say it? Meghana. All right, Meghana. Let's find out how your studies are going to be. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Meghana. Hopefully her studies go good. How are her studies going to be? Grateful, thankful for Meghana's studies. What card can you do me? The King of Wands. Do not get distracted by someone. All right? I feel like somebody could distract you from your studies. So don't let that happen, because this King of Wands, they're a player, all right? They don't care about you and your studies. They care about what they get. So just be very, very careful that you aren't distracted. Five of Pentacles. Again, you know, I feel as if somebody, see how this person kind of pulls you away? Don't get distracted by anyone who could interfere with your studies, Meghana. That is your big message. Yorick Brown, what sign am I? I am a Capricorn. Hi, Ava. Welcome in. Hi, Anna. Nice to see you. Carolina. Nice to see you in. Ava. Yeah, I've been, I was hoping to come live, Ava, and all you guys, you know, a lot more frequently. But gosh, you know, sometimes life just gets in the way. But I'll try to come on here at least twice a week, at the beginning of the week, and I'll try to keep these weekend reads going. So just to give you an idea of when you might be able to find me. And don't forget to subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe, because then you'll know when I'm around. All right, Anna, you want a general reading. Let's look at Anna. Anna would like a general reading, and then I'll do you as the, okay? Anna, grateful, thankful for the messages for Anna. Anna would love a general reading. Grateful, thankful for Anna. And the messages that Anna needs to hear right now. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Anna. All right, so we've got you in the energy of the Hanged Man. Okay, before you do anything, okay, because we have the Knight of Swords coming out with this. The Knight of Swords is a very assertive, a very aggressive energy, Anna. When we have the Hanged Man here, first, before you do anything, you know, that you may wish that you didn't, you need to take the time, you know, says the Hanged Man, and look at all of these straps that you have tied yourself into in this tree of life and see how you could possibly release yourself from some of the things that have been going on, you know, so that you can start to enjoy yourself a little bit more. Because with the Hanged Man, a lot of times, you know, we overcommit to the point where, you know, we find ourselves sacrificing ourselves and doing so much for everyone else, and our life kind of gets put on hold. And I feel like there is going to be like this urge for you to kind of like break away out of all of these straps. But before you do that, let's see whether or not we can gain some perspective and kind of free ourselves up so that we don't have to be so aggressive in trying to get our way. All right, Anna, so that's what I've got for you. All right, Asta, your birthday, when will you start earning? You are August 31st. Oh, so you're a Virgo, you're a healer. All right, Asla, let's find out. When will you start earning? Let's find out whether or not you'll get a job, start making money. Let's see what cards come out for you. All right, Asla. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Atha. She won't spam the chats anymore. All right, Asla, I hope I'm saying your name right. If not, my apologies. All right, what's coming out for you? We've got the Knight of Cups. You know, you're going to be getting offers. When it comes to working, I think you're going to receive a really good offer. And if it's not a good offer around a job, I definitely see somebody very interested in you. So we like that. And then we have the King of Wands. Oh, you have a few people. And you're going to have to make a decision. So, you know, in regards to your career or when you're going to start to make money, I feel as if you will have a couple of options. I think both of them will be very, very good. You're going to have to figure out which is the direction you want to go in. Now, on another note, though, I do see that there could be two men in your life, Asta, and, you know, you're going to have to figure out which of the two you really want to go out with. But I do see options for you. I do see that you will start making some money, maybe even as soon as the fall. If you put yourself out there, that could happen. But, you know, the fall, maybe the winter. But yeah, I do feel like once you put yourself out there, you will find that job. All right, Carolina, moving out of state. Would I sell all my furniture on time? I want to travel light. Oh, good for you, Carolina. If you're not attached to any of that furniture, get rid of it. Let's see if you're going to sell all of your furniture on time, Carolina. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Carolina. She's moving out of state. She wants to know that she's going to sell all of her furniture and travel light. Let's see how that's going to work out for her. All right, let's see. Oh, look, I think you're going to do it all. I think you're going to get rid of it all and you're going to be able to start this whole new life. I like it. The Judgment card, you know, it's at that point where I'm done. I just want to release myself and I want to start over and start my new life. I mean, it's like a spiritual awakening what you're going through, Carolina. So I love this. So yes, I do see you getting rid of all of your furniture. And that'll be great. All right, Ava, let's see. You want to know, telling you, how do you feel? Thank you so much. All right, so let's find out. Let's get a general card for you, Ava, and see what's going on. Grateful, thankful. Yeah, good luck with that move, Carolina. I think it's going to be a good one, you know, because you're ready for it. I think you're finally ready for this. So that's great. Yeah, Queen 22, I'll do yours. 22, 22. But right now, we are looking at Ava. Ava needs a general reading here. Grateful, thankful. Hi, Lauren, Krishna. Welcome in, everyone. All right, let's see. Ava, let's find out. General reading for you. Grateful, thankful for Ava. And the messages coming out for Ava. All right, let's see. Your overall card is that of the Strength card reversed. And then we have the Queen of Pentacles reversed and the King of Wands. So I'm showing some instability, lack of confidence, insecurities about, you know, whether or not you do your part well. I also have a King of Wands. I just wonder if this is somebody you are involved with. You know, maybe the pressure for you to do whatever this guy wants is too much for you. All right, the Strength card here, I just feel as if you're giving yourself away, you know, to somebody else's energies, and you really have got to, you know, take care of yourself. I mean, you want stability and you want to be grounded and you want to get this person to really eat out of your hands, then you've got to be more you. You know, because when we have the Strength card coming in reverse, we're not honoring who we really are. It's like we're giving away our power. It makes us weak. And I do see this making you weak because this Queen came out reversed. All right, so when the Queen comes out reversed, it brings in this instability. And then you don't trust yourself. And then, you know, you're doing things that you really wouldn't do if you did trust yourself. So I really want to encourage you to really find your strength, find your power, find your stability, and ground in. And don't do so much for other people because they may not always appreciate it. And you want to be appreciated. So that's what I've got for you. All right, Ava? Lauren, Prajna. You want to know if you'll move abroad for your further studies. Well, you won't be going to Harvard. I don't know if you heard that. But yeah, Harvard's off the table. But let's see whether or not you will be going abroad for further studies, Prashana. Let's find out. Oh, welcome in, Feather 9999999. Glad you found me. Yeah, I'll get you a general read here in just a minute. All right, Prashna, we want to know whether or not you are going abroad for your studies. Grateful, thankful for the messages. Prashna wants to know whether she's going abroad for studies. All right, I don't see that happening. All right, because here we have the Four of Pentacles coming in reversed. You know, it could be that not right away because of money, because of funds, for some reason. I just feel like it's not going to happen right away. Let's see if it will. Yeah, I just feel like it'll be a while. I don't think, you know, you don't count on it. All right. I mean, go ahead and see what you can do. But I feel like there's some hang up that is going to keep you from being able to study abroad. Definitely it won't be at Harvard unless they win a lawsuit. I don't know. All right, Lauren. Let's see. How does Berto feel about Christine? Does Berto have any regrets towards Christine? All right, let's see, Lauren. Let's find out about Berto. Grateful, thankful. And then I'll move on to Feather 99999. All right. All right, let's see. Lauren, let's find out how Berto feels about Christine. Grateful, thankful for the messages regarding Berto and Christine. What can you tell me about the feelings that Berto has for Christine? All right, so I feel like they go deep. All right, we've got some deep-seated emotions here with this Moon card. But, you know, I don't feel like there's a lot of chemistry. I think there's feeling. I think there's, you know, definitely this sense of admiration. But, you know, with the Ace of Wands, it just feels like it's missing that chemistry. So, yeah, I just feel as if, you know, things probably aren't going to work out between the two of them. And, you know, and then eventually I see that it just kind of stops because the Eight of Wands is about communication and things moving on. And the fact that, you know, it kind of goes from the Moon card to the Ace of Wands reverse, there's no chemistry here. I might as well not talk to her anymore. So I feel like that's not going to last. All right, Lauren. That's what I've got for you. All right, Feather, Christine. Let's see, Feather 999, a general reading for you, my new subscriber. Thanks, you guys, for liking, commenting, subscribing, doing all that stuff, helping my channel out. Really appreciate that. But Feather 999s, Feather to the nines, would like a general reading. Grateful, thankful for my new subscriber, Feather. What can you tell me about Feather in the general read that they are looking for? Oh, thanks, Ava. My dog's name is Huggy. I didn't name him that. You know, he ended up coming to me because somebody couldn't take care of him. All right, let's see. All right, Feather, are you ready? Your card coming out here is the Devil to the King of Cups. You may be involved with somebody who is emotionally very needy. I think they struggle. I see a lot of partying, a lot of drinking. You know, just a lot of toxic energy around this King of Cups coming in reversed. Honestly, whenever I see the King show up like this, you know, it's really pretty sad because I think they struggle. They struggle emotionally, they struggle with addictions, they just, you know, they just have a hard time in life. And with that Devil, it kind of tells me there's something toxic going on there. Eight of Wands, you know, this maybe have to get cut off is what I'm feeling with that Eight of Wands. So, you know, because there's, you know, it reaches a point, you know, it's hard to be around somebody who is like that all the time. And with the Eight of Wands coming out, you may actually just shut them up and just cut them off or out of your life here, Feather. So that's what I've got for you. I hope that resonated. All right, let's see. But Asa, it doesn't matter what your zodiac sign is. The message is what the message is. And I did pull a card for you already. Queen 2222. Let's pull a card for you. Oh, thanks, Queen. All right, let's see. Queen 2222. Let's see what general message is for you. Do you have a question? I don't see a question. Does my soulmate know who you are? Okay. All right, Queen, I found your question. Let's find out about Queen 2222 and her soulmate. Inquiring mind going well. We want to know about your soulmate. What can you tell me about Queen's soulmate? Grateful, thankful. Ooh, I like this. Wow. Okay, so as a soulmate, I really feel like there's a very deep connection. We have both the Empress and the Moon card. So the Moon card, I feel, is like, you know, there's almost like you feel like you're being called to this person. So whether you have met them or you are, you know, or you want to meet them, when you do, I really feel like the connection will be very instant and very deep. So much so that, you know, you might find yourself pregnant very quickly. So if you don't want to be pregnant, you know, just use caution. But I do feel as if this is really, whoever your person is, you've got a really great connection. And I do see motherhood as part of it. Let's pull one more card. Page of Cups. I don't think it's come in just yet, all right, with this Page of Cups coming in reversed. All right, you just know that when your soulmate comes in, it's a very deep connection. It's not one that's very easy to let go of their thoughts, any of that, all right? So just keep that in mind, all right, Queen? And I think you're going to meet a really, really great person. All right, let's see. All right, Funky's 40. I'm a PDF file. What's in my future? All right. Funky 40. Thanks, Loretta. You're a new subscriber. Okay, I'll get to you here next. Thanks for the 249. Really grateful for that. All right, let's see. I'm just down the list, so I'll get to you. All right. I'm not going to leave anybody hanging here. All right, let's see. Funky 40. He's a PDF file. What's in it? Let's find out what's in Funky's 40's file. All right, we've got coming out for you the Four of Pentacles reversed to the Wheel of Fortune. Be very careful that you don't invest in something that's going to be a bad investment. Because I feel as if you could lose some money if you were to take something that you have saved or some savings with that Wheel of Fortune. Be very careful because your PDF file shows that you could lose something here. All right, Funky, that's what I've got for you. All right, Nongs, how am I? I'm good. Oh, another new subscriber. I've got all these new subscribers. Welcome in. Let's find out. Will you get a joining letter for the job you applied for? Let's find out. And then I'm going to jump down to you, Loretta. All right, because I see your big blue box. I sure appreciate you. All right, let's find out, Nong. When will you get the joining letter for the job you applied for? Let's find out. When are you going to get this letter? Oh, you know, it may be a while, okay, because I'm not so sure you're going to get the letter. You know, it's almost, I feel as if, you know, it's so iffy right now. And then we have the Justice card. I mean, I think you may eventually get the letter, but it will be a while. It's not going to happen real soon. You know, when I saw this, at first I was like, oh no. And then I have the 10 of Cups here at the base of what's going on. Do not put all your eggs in one basket, all right, Nong? Because I feel as if you do that, you could end up being disappointed. But we do have the Justice card here. You know, I think in the end you will find whatever it is you were looking for. But this one is going to be a little while. All right, Loretta, let's find out what you need to know right now. Grateful, thankful for the 249. It's nice to see that big blue box in the chat. I really appreciate the little bit of money that you guys do throw at me. It really helps. You know, I save all my nickels, my dimes, my pennies, you know. So I appreciate everything that you guys share with me. All right, Loretta, let's find out. Because of your kindness, let's find out what message is coming through for you. Thanks for being a new subscriber. All right, Loretta, we're reading for you. All right, we've got the 5 of Cups to the 2 of Wands to the 4 of Pentacles. All right, 5 of Cups. Be very, very careful that you don't go back to something that, you know, isn't good for you. All right, when we have the 5 of Cups, this is a depressive energy. This is really kind of, you know, staying with, you know, the fact that you've got these 3 cups here. We've got this 5 energy. It's depressed. It's like things didn't work out. You know, you may be drinking too much. Just be careful of where you channel your depressed energy. See if you can find something positive rather than, you know, turning to alcohol or anything else. See if there's another way for you to channel that energy. Now, I do see that, Loretta, there is this decision that's on the horizon. All right, because we've had the 2 of Wands. I don't think you need to make this decision just now. You know, we have fall leaves in the background, maybe in a few months. You're not as tied as you think you are, all right? And I just really feel like I have to tell you that, Loretta. You're not as tied. Because here he's tied to this one and he's tied to this one, you know, and it's like you want to do it, but you just don't know sure how you're going to be able to shift your life in another direction. And just keep that in mind. You are not that tied, all right, Loretta? And here we have the 4 of Pentacles. You know, this is you needing to open up. If you have to make a move or a shift in your life and it's going to cost you a little bit, it may be worth it for you. Because, again, you feeling so tied that you can't change isn't healthy for you. And I feel like, you know, you need to look towards what you can do. And I feel like by fall, you probably will make a decision, but not right now. So I hope that helped. All right. May Thaw, can you ask a question? Sure, May. Oh, Queen, you know, I don't know if I answered that question of whether they know you or not. I do believe that I said in your reading, Queen, that either if you haven't met them, you will meet them. All right, and you'll know because of the connection being so deep. So I hope that satisfies that question. All right, May Thaw, let's find out. May, how are you? Oh, wait, there's someone else. I'll do May and then I'll go back up to Surin, okay? All right, May, what's going on, May? You got a question? Do you have a question that you were asking? Or is it just a general reading? All right, I'm just going to pull a general card for you, May, and then I'm going to go up to Surin. Surin is... All right, let's see, May, what's coming out for you? We have the King of Swords coming in reverse. You might be dealing with somebody very difficult. All right, the King of Swords energy. This is somebody who could be a little bit mean-spirited, have a sharp tongue. Be careful of that energy, all right, May? You know, because if somebody's not talking to you well, don't talk to them at all, all right? If they don't have something nice to say to you, then, you know, don't put up with it is what I really want to say. But I don't like the energy of the King of Swords because I find him to be a little mean. All right, May? All right, Soren, your name is Surrendar, and I'm loving Kuzma. Could she love me back? If yes, when? All right, let's find out how Kuzma feels about you. All right, Soren? Let's find out. How does Kuzma feel about Soren? This card wants to stay out. All right, I think she finds you very serious. All right? Have more fun, all right? Don't be so serious, all right, Soren? Surrender. All right, let's see, what do we have? 2 of Cups. You know, it could work out. It could be a really great connection. There's a lot of chemistry, but I think, again, don't be so serious. People want to laugh, they want to enjoy company, all right? And if you come along, you're really, really serious, sir, and, that kind of, changes the tone, all right? But I definitely feel that it does have potential, it has chemistry. Just let your guard down a little bit and you'll be okay. As to when, who knows as to when. All right, let's see who else is in here. Dr. Fortlife, welcome in. Shirley, nice to see you. Oh, thanks, Shirley. Sure appreciate it. All right, Dr. Forlife, let's find out if there are any messages for Dr. Forlife. Grateful, thankful for each and every one of you. Grateful for Dr. Forlife. We're looking for a message for the good doctor. What messages are coming through for Dr. Forlife? All right, we got the Hermit card coming in reverse to the Three of Pentacles. So listen, the Hermit card, when he comes in reverse, says you need to take the time to really sit with yourself, to really kind of tune into your needs, your own wisdom, what it is that you need to do. Because I do see that you are in a position now where you could possibly teach. This guy, he is teaching these children here. It is the Three of Pentacles. Maybe it's also working in collaboration with other people. But I just feel as if, if you are considering making a change and maybe, getting out there as somebody, like a teacher, or some kind of educator, take the time to really sit with it, all right? The Hermit wants you to really think about it before you go doing this, all right? So yeah, take that time, all right, Dr. Forlife? Because you'd probably be really, really good. You'd probably get a nice following and things like that. All right, but for whatever reason, the Hermit wants you to really think about it before you just jump in and do it. All right, hi, Crystal. Welcome in. I am just wrapping up my reading here. I hope that works, Dr. Forlife. So, Crystal, if you have a question, yeah, you can get a card. I'm happy to pull a card. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Crystal Maxwell, who just popped in. All right, you guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Really helps me out. And I'll be back again next week. I've been doing this for years, so I'm not going anywhere. All right, Shirley, I'll get you next. All right, Crystal, let's see. Hi, Deshawn. Is it Deshauna? Deshawn Hunter? You too, doctor. Have a good day. All right, let's see, Crystal. We're looking for a card for Crystal. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Crystal Maxwell. What's up with Crystal? All right, Crystal, we got you coming in with the Death card to the Four of Pentacles. Well, that Four of Pentacles has come out a lot. To the Three of Wands. All right, so Crystal, I gave you 3 cards, not 1. We start now with the Death card. So I feel as if there's a situation that needs to change, all right? And if it can't change, it needs to come to an end. And in order for that to happen, once this ending happens, then I think you're in a position now where you can start to open up and see what you can do with your future. All right, because this is about, setting something in motion and checking to see if your ships are coming in. But something definitely has to come to an end here with this Death card. And once that comes to an end, really, I think your whole life will shift. So whatever that means for you, all right? Crystal, I hope that resonated. All right, let's see. Shirley, let's see. Is it Shirley? All right, Shirley, let's do yours. You're unsure if you're ready to stay in a career where you currently live or Australia. Well, that's a big jump. I don't know where you live, but it sounds like it's a big move. Let's find out, Shirley. Oh, very good, Crystal. Good for you. Yeah, much better things are in your future. Really, a brighter future is in front of you. All right, Shirley, let's find out. Do you stay for your career where you are, or do you go to Australia? Let's find out, Shirley. You live in New Zealand. I want to go to New Zealand. Actually, I want to go to New Zealand and Australia. Those would be my 2 go-tos if I was going to go anywhere right now. All right, let's see. Shirley, what's going on? Should you stay where you are? Let's see. Okay. interesting, because should you stay where you are? Listen, I feel like you've got to be patient here, all right? Because things are going to unfold, I think, how they need to unfold. I think the connection you have with your partner is very good. And I think that is one that you might want to hang on to. You know, because then we have the Eight of Swords coming in reversed. I think to make a move and to leave this would be really hard for you, all right? Because the Eight of Swords, when it's reversed, now it's going to affect you in all kinds of ways. You know, if you were to upset the apple cart, so to speak. So honestly, I'm feeling like you should stay where your person is. You know, and I also feel like that's going to be best for you because it is the Ace of Cups. Let me get one more card. And then we have the World card, you know, coming to an end. Things coming to completion. I think, you know, once you make your decision, you know, whether you should live near your partner and stay where you're at, I think right now, that's really what's kind of coming across to me. It's not a time to make moves, you know, so I think the moves will eventually just kind of show themselves. So right now, I would just stay put. All right, Shirley? That's the best I got on your read. Let's see, who else is out there? The girl version. I don't know what that means. All right, Deshwan, you want to get a card pull? Let's get you a card. Hold on, my cards are like all one way or another. All right, Deshwan, let's see. Can I get pulled for, is your family going to get caught by the police for stealing? All right, let's find out. Bye, Shirley. Have a great weekend. All right, let's see, Deshwana. I want to call you Deshwana. I want to put an A at the end of it. I know that's not your name. All right, I'm just going to call you Hunter. Let's get a card on your family. Let's find out if your family's going to get caught by the police for stealing. I mean, what could a whole family steal? Let's find out. Are they going to get caught? All right, we got the Queen of Pentacles. You know, I want to say that everything's going to turn out okay because the Queen of Pentacles, there's a calm energy with with her. You know, so even if you do get caught, I feel as if it's going to be okay. Because if anything, it's going to help bring a little bit more stability, you know, because once it's done, it's done. But I feel like there's going to be a good outcome, Deshwan. So I wouldn't be too worried about it right now. Queen of Cups, best to not say anything, keep it low key, keep it quiet, and see if anything kind of manifests. But at the end of the day, I definitely feel like everything is going to be okay, all right, Deshwan, between you and your family and the cops. Om Satya Om. I hope that helped. I hope that helped. Anyway, I think I got everybody. Oh, wait, we got Sally Ann Brown. You're already in your very last relationship. Take a look at your profile picture. Okay, I guess that means you don't want a card, huh? All right, you guys, listen, I think we've reached the end here. If Om Satya Om does not want a card, then I'm going to go ahead and pop off and start my weekend. And I'll be back again live next week, hopefully on Monday. I know not on Tuesday, but hopefully on Monday. Anyway, you guys be happy, be kind, be well. Oh, wait. Om Satya wants a card. All right, Om. Let's get a card for you before I pop off. Grateful, thankful for the messages for Om Satya Om. I just like to say that. What card can you give me for Om? Grateful, thankful for the messages for Om. All right, listen, we got the Hermit coming in. So it's really important that you keep your light bright, all right? Because see how he's trying to keep that candle from blowing out. So when you need to take time for yourself, Om, you need to be quiet, you need to be still, you need to tune in for yourself because that is good for you, then take the time to do it. The Hermit tells me you have a lot of wisdom. You know, you're a very wise old soul, you know, so don't let anybody dim your light. All right, Om, that's what I've got for you. So as always, please take care of yourselves, guys, and I will see you all at the next reading. Until then, like I said, be happy, be well, be kind, and I'll see you later. Bye now.